Hey guys, this is your girl Caitlin and welcome back. And today we have got something quite special because first off, I am not alone for once. Today joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the man himself from Florida, Reality. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
Yep, I'm hype. I'm hype. I'm looking forward to doing this. I think it's going to be. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see sort of where we end up. So yeah, for obviously all of you guys out there, what we are going to be doing is we're going to do a second round of a 2v2 tier list. So a while ago, I think sort of about a month or so ago, I did a tier list of 2v2, and then since then, obviously, betas happened. We've had tournaments, we've had lots of changes and opinions have changed. So I think the tier listing would change as well. Obviously, I've got Reality with me here as well, who well, you recently played in two tournament, didn't you, with us?
I did, yep. I played in both of them actually. So,
Yeah, how did it go? You good time, bad time, anything?
so the first tournament we were the runner-up, and then the second tournament we won the first round and then lost the next two. Unfortunately, we were the only horde team of the tournament. I think really spoke volumes about like the meta of the comp or the meta of the tournament.
Yeah, I think, well, that's the crazy thing. I think so many people, myself included, were expecting Horde to everyone to be being playing Horde, but it's, yeah, as you said, it's literally the complete opposite.
Yeah, it's actually, I mean, season one opener is everything in twos. So, and I would even argue threes. So,
Yeah, the alliance, well, Dwarf Priest and Human Rogue, and then well, Human Lock to a little bit. You're not tempted yourself to maybe go to the alliance, come over, come join us.
I mean, I don't think it's the long term best move, but like specifically if there was only season one, I think I would. I think I would be too tempted.
And I suppose the other thing we should also mention is we are rating, and this list is for ladder. It's not for tournament play. There are quite stark differences between what's necessarily best in a tournament situation and what's going to be best on ladder. We're talking it from the perspective of laddering, and I'd say average skill level. So not the pros, not the best in the world, and not complete novices. So I think this is for you guys that are sat there thinking, can I get my weapons and my shoulders with these comps? And I think that's probably the best way of looking at it. But that having been said, I think really we will jump straight into this. Let's get this tier list going. Um, right, so
Let's start with Lock Rogue. Might as well.
okay, man. Well, you obviously the authority on this one over me. So I mean, I was gonna probably say, I think maybe A. What are you feeling?
Season one, Lock Rogue is S tier,
You reckon?
100%. I
Okay.
do. I think it really can beat every comp. I don't think it has one hard counter. Say there's like a decent learning curve with it. So I would say it's not the easiest comp to play because unlike healer DPS, like you can make a lot more mistakes and win games. With Lock Rogue and I would say a lot of double DPS teams, you have to minimize your mistakes and like keep CC chains to win and again this is at a higher rating. Maybe this isn't the case at like medium to I don't know. I don't know exactly how the ladder is going to be, but like 1700 to 2000 rating maybe.
I'm quite content with that. I think yeah, I was gonna S A something like that.
Mhm.
But well, we started with your baby. Let's jump to mine. Good old warrior shaman. Well, my immediate thought was maybe B. I mean, I've been quite impressed. I don't know how much you've played against it on the beta, but I've been quite impressed actually.
Yeah, I mean, again, shamans obviously get the rep for being like one of the worst healers in TBC, and I think they are at a disadvantage for sure. But it doesn't mean you can't like do well with them. And like you said, specifically warrior shaman is pretty solid. So
Yeah, I think in on the beta with the gear that you have, Deep Thunder into people that have got sub 300 resilience in certain cases, and their clothies. I mean, you can just absolutely hog smash people. Um, you know, in a tournament environment, you will just get completely ruined. But I think yeah, on the ladder, you can do pretty well. So I'm thinking B. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I would say a B. I mean, I would say if RNGesus is on your side, you can randomly like just win games by just like two shotting people. So
Yeah, man. Well, got B, and then well, what should we do the big one? Should we do the Mage Rogue? I'm fairly sure we can probably both agree where this is gonna go.
yeah, definitely.
So yeah, D tier.
Oh, I would say F. Horrible,
Yeah,
horrible
its
twos
own
comp.
little bracket of yeah. No, so I think it's yeah, it's gonna be
S
S
tier,
yeah.
without a doubt. Especially season 1, Rogue Mage is S tier.
Yeah, I mean the broken Nova as well. I mean they keep on telling us that it's been fixed or it's getting fixed. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see if that's the case.
Well, I spoke to Riva at the tournament, and I think he was saying he still felt pretty OP. But you know, you're only getting 3 Ice Lances off now rather than 5.
What makes Rogue Mage so so good is how well the classes synergize together. And that's why you get a priest and play RMP in 3s too, and it's S tier in 3s as well. The CCs, all the bursty cooldowns, they just go together so well as a class.
Well, we've played quite a bit of Shaman Lock into Major, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
And well, to be fair, we kind of fuck them up. I think Mage Rogue against Shaman Lock is quite oddly favoured. Actually, I'd probably say.
Yeah, it's one of those weird counters actually that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
But TBC has a lot of those. Like some random, for example, Lock Rogue actually really struggles versus Holy Paladins, like Holy Paladin DPS team.
Really, man, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. But there's so few of them that we don't have to worry about it.
Well, yeah. So going back to the cold snap and preparation, I find I don't know how it is with playing double DPS, but certainly playing sort of healer DPS, it's always like the second wave, if that makes sense.
Yep.
That gets you, and obviously, well, one of the big ones we actually talked about this in the tournament. Blind being 1.5 minutes and Trinket being 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, good players will be able to premeditate the cooldown coming back and play defensive and do what they can to counter it. But a lot of the time, you don't even realize it's happening. And if you live long enough for when blind comes back, you just win the game. Because it's just a free 30 seconds of CC, just a blind to do a stat after they've already trinketed. It's so overpowered, actually.
Like jumping along, going to Hunter Druid. Now this is, see, to my mind, I think Hunter Druid in season 1 is just going to struggle a little bit. I don't know that they've necessarily got all of the tools they need that really makes the comp, you know, really strong.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's still good, and it still does very well versus rogue healer teams in particular, which you'll see a lot of. Like Rogue Priest, for example, it does very well even in season 1 against. But yeah, the issue is druids in general, season 1, don't have the same capability of surviving as they do in season 4 and just outlasting teams. And I think it's specifically a season 1 and maybe early season 2 issue for druids. And
yeah. I keep on meaning to speak to Gucci about it because I'm curious. Because to my mind, in season 1, especially given that we have got the 2.3 mechanics where healing is converted to spell power. Part of me thinks that druid should, in season 1, maybe go for the resto kin spec, go for the the aggression rather than, as you said, trying to play this outlasting game that they're just not very well built for in season 1. So where are we thinking? Where are we going to put it? I mean, I think B, maybe. I don't know. That's my.
I think B tier. I think it's still a good comp season 1. It's just not going to be the top in the top tier.
Yeah,
for sure.
Where do we reckon Warrior Druid then?
Oh, Warrior Druid season 1 it's a very interesting comp. So again, this comp every season gets better and better and better, and peaks in season 4. But season 1, it's weak. It's again, it does have some teams that it can play very well against, and two good players are gonna still make it work. But it's very squishy. Like Druids and Warriors are both very squishy season 1.
So the big one is where are we going to put it? Because are we going to put it as low as B?
Yeah, I would say B tier again.
And we're saying Warrior Druid is as good as Warrior Shaman. I think we might get some comments about that one.
Yeah, I mean, we should just, if we were to please all those people, we'd put every Shaman comp at F tier. So.
Okay, well, you pick one then. What you reckon? What are you fancying?
Let's see. How about Rogue Priest?
Well, are we talking Shadow Priest or are we talking Discipline Priest? Because there is both. There is both.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go both. I think we can start with Disc Priest because that's gonna most likely be a more common one, season 1.
Yeah. Well, I think. I mean, I think it's either gotta be a very high A or an S in my opinion.
So I personally would. I think Rogue and Priest are another one, or like two of those classes that again synergize extremely well together, just like Rogue Mage. One, where I believe Disc Priest in 2s is at its best in season 1.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. Yeah, I think for I've spoken it about a few times, sort of on the channel and when I've been streaming and casting. Yeah, I think for a variety of reasons, Discipline Priest is just leaps and bounds ahead of every other healer in season 1.
It is, yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, we will go S tier, and then Shadow Priest Rogue. I mean, I'm again feeling S tier. I really like this comp in, season 1, season 2. As you said, until you get the Battle Masters trinket.
Yeah, I would say the thing that keeps them from becoming S tier is Shadow Priest survivability. Especially in season 1, they're squishy. They don't really have any good defensives, and a lot of the times, like, teams are just gonna zug the Shadow Priest and successfully win because of the squishiness of Shadow Priest.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I mean, in the tournament recently, I don't know if you saw the Shadow Priest matches. He literally wasn't. There was at least one of them when he didn't even start in Shadow form. He was like, "There's no point.
Yeah.
Just gonna basically be a Gimp Healing Priest."
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, for this case, we'll go Shadow Priest Rogue, solid A tier. And then, I suppose speaking of Duo Tarkleaves, shout out to Cargos by the way. DPL, so Discipline Lock.
Yeah, I think S tier season 1. I think this is a sleeper, like potentially like best comp there is out there season 1.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been more and more impressed by it every time I played against it. I can remember the first time I played against it. For some reason, I had it in my head that someone was going to die much quicker than they did. They just refused. The comp is just so survivable. So tanky for two clothies.
And what makes it even better too is if you're a Troll Priest, which I think is the best for DPL. Hex of Weakness, it's a debuff that you put on your enemies that reduces the healing by 20%, so you effectively have like a mini MS effect. And dots are extra good season 1 because of the lack of resilience, so teams will just be running from you the entire time because you're putting so much pressure on them.
Well, I will throw it up to S tier, so we've got that done. But okay, let's go for something a little bit memey. Enhancement, Resto Druid.
Yeah, so again, like, if you're playing a Shaman, you're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage, but I think this is probably the best Enhancement Shaman 2's comp you can play. And I would say, again, it's at its weakest in Season 1. It gets better every season, but I would say it's a very average comp.
In Season 1, I think you've got to just do turbo aggression, go for the Gibbs type thing. And as a result of that, I'm thinking C, just because I don't think that it's particularly reliable.
Yeah, I would say C tier as well.
Okay, so what would you like to? What should we go for next then? In reality, mate.
I think we should go Rogue Druid.
What, Feral or what? Let's do both, shall we? Should we start with
Let's
Resto
do both,
though?
yeah. Let's
Okay.
start with Resto and go Feral, yeah.
Well, I think we've sort of pointed out quite a few times now that we feel that Druids in season 1 are a little bit underwhelming. But you know, this is a monster comp later in, but season 1, I mean, maybe a very average A tier. I don't know. I've just not seen it played, to be honest, on the beta. It's one of the ones that seemed very sparse.
I would still put it A tier because of how well these classes mesh together again. I think, like you said, it becomes the best comp in the twos bracket that you can run later on. But I would still say it's A tier. But it does have its problems season 1. The Druid's overall survivability is weak in season 1, and that's where it really, like, that's its biggest strength, is the ability for the Rogue to peel for the Druid, and the Druid to be able to outlast teams. And then also their CC working so well together. Being able to potentially sap out of Cyclones, when you're playing other Druid teams, being able to like root the DPS and the Rogue to cripple the other one. Like, there's so much CC potential with this comp still.
I mean, I think this is a prime candidate for Restokin in season 1. I think, you know, using the burst that you can get from that, using the the dream state, so getting that mana regen, and yes, you don't get feral charge, but you don't need it when you can just you've got a rogue there to supplement your interrupts anyway.
Yep.
But well, we've got that one. So jumping along to feral rogue. I mean, have you seen it at all?
I've seen it a little bit, and it does have some potential. And as like a roguelike player, it scares me because like they'll open on you, and if my rogue doesn't open on like one of them within like a half a second, I could potentially just get global. So like the element of surprise is really like that's one of the strengths of this comp. Like, because you don't know it's going to be a double DPS when it's 2 stealthies. But I do think it's one of the best, like probably the best feral comp you can play in twos.
But in season 1 in particular, I think you are lacking mana heavily as a feral druid.
You are, yeah. You're gonna go quick, and I mean, I would say the game plan is to just like give a healer before you go You gotta win pretty early again.
Well, so having said all of that, I'm thinking somewhere between B and C.
Yeah, I'd say B tier season 1. I'd say it's still viable for sure.
Yep. No, we can go with a B. Right. Well, let's go on to. Well, let's do. Should we do Mage Priest?
Yeah, let's go Mage Priest.
I think this might be another bit of a sleeper.
Yeah, I think this is also a potential S tier, man. I think Priest Mage is really good.
I mean, I've not seen it a massive amount, but whenever I have seen it, I have been, legitimately quite impressed with just, how destructive and how much control as a comp it has.
The classes synergize very well together, and like, again, you add a rogue to the equation and you have the best threes comp. So those two classes just mesh very well together.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it's a full-on S. And my reasoning for that,
it would be safer to say A.
We don't want to piss off the Redditors. They're gonna, down.
Well, they'll be pissed off anyway, so not much you can do about that.
True that. Okay, well, let's go for the absolute classic that is Warrior Paladin. What are we thinking? These poor Holy Paladins.
Yeah, so again, if you're playing a Holy Paladin and you want to run the best team in twos, it's with a Warrior. And if you want to go full-on try-hard, do Double Dwarf.
Ooh, nasty.
That's the best twos comp you can run as a Holy Paladin.
Well, are you rating Dwarf Warrior over Gnome Warrior?
I'd say like yes. If you're playing with a Paladin, I would say going Double Dwarf is the play.
I think it's got to be maybe C.
Yeah.
Maybe high C if you've got that double double dwarf.
Yeah, like high C, low B.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's throw it
It's
on to
viable.
Mr. C tier. Well, what are you fancying next then, Mr.
Oh,
Reality?
let's go to Druid Lock.
Ooh, the
I've
absolute
played a lot of
classic.
this comp.
I mean, well, yeah, I'm gonna defer to you at this point. You are the resident Warlock. What are you feeling, man?
So Druid Lock, in my opinion, it's the best. It's the best twos comp you can play as a Resto Druid Season 1. I think you're gonna get your highest rating Season 1 as if you're playing Druid Lock. And again, these classes, their CCs go so well together. So none of their CCs share DR, so you can infinitely CC a target. Like the CC capability is crazy with this comp. And again, you can also outlast people because the dots and hots combo is very strong. Really good comp. I would say A tier, edging on S tier.
Yeah, I think I'd go with an A.
Yeah, it's so like if you time your CCs correctly, like you can infinitely CC a target if you set it up correctly. It's ridiculous, actually.
Okay. Well, Hunter Priest again.
Yeah, so
Have you seen it?
I have seen it. I've seen it very little though. It's not a very commonly played comp at all.
I think this is another one sort of similar to Paladin Warrior. I think there is quite a significant difference between, say, an undead priest and a troll hunter compared to double dwarf. You know, the
Absolutely.
The ability to take away all the poisons, and then also the dwarf priest having chastise, so he effectively has a form of crowd control beyond just the fear. I think that is it's a very different story from the same comp. If it's double dwarf, I might even put it up at B.
Yeah.
But if it's not double dwarf, then
if you
I
were
think
gonna
it's
if
C.
you're min maxing it and playing with the best races like double dwarf, then I would put it at B tier. If not, I would probably put it at C tier. Priest Warrior you're not gonna have a good time with this comp. It's yeah, I would say this is probably the worst DPS to play with as a priest. The classes don't synergize very well together in twos, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, I would put it at C because I would say it has some potential.
I can't see the synergy of the classes and how they want to be working.
Yep.
You could go, the hyper offensive, offensively dispelling somebody while the warrior beats them, but then you're just basically a discount shitter version of shaman warrior, aren't you?
Exactly, 100%.
Well, speaking of shaman, Resto. I don't know whether it's better than what I expected it to be or worse. It's really, definitely a tricky one.
Yeah, how did you think it performed on the beta? Because I heard a lot of mixed reviews on it.
You can influence the game so much as a ret, and the skill ceiling on it for a spec that is memed a hell of a lot. The skill ceiling as a ret paladin, I think, is incredibly high.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, like you said, the skill difference between a good and a bad one is insane for ret.
Probably A, but I'd say quite a low A.
Yeah, I would say a low A tier. And again, like if you're playing a Resto Shaman, I'm sure you can agree on this one. Like, and you're trying to play the best twos comp for your race in class, you probably go with a ret paladin. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. If you're really trying to make twos work as a Resto Shaman, and that's the thing that you wanna do, and that's where you want to get your gladiators from, then I think Ret Resto is the way to go. Yep. Keeping on the Ret theme, Ret Rogue.
So Ret Rogue is one of those. It's kind of a meme comp, but again, you can Zerg someone quick. You can like global somebody if you connect at the same time. The main issue with this comp though is like you really have to just catch someone off guard and surprise kill them because you're susceptible to getting kited. And Rets lack mobility, and Rogues have a lot of mobility, so I feel like a lot of times they're not connecting at the same time with each other.
Yeah, no, well, you said everything I was thinking. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I think again we go back to just lacks a bit of reliability. I'm thinking
It,
C.
it's C, yeah, it's definitely C.
To Hunter Rogue, I've seen it a little bit. As in like maybe 2 3 times on beta.
Yeah, I'd actually say season one. It's somewhat of a sleeper comp. If you play with the BM Hunter and you like time your CCs well together, like it's a good comp. It has potential.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think then? Like high, is it A? Is it high B?
I'd put it probably at B tier,
Mm-hmm.
C to B tier. Definitely not A tier.
Yeah, well,
In
it
that
is
range,
now
yeah.
officially B. A bit of a fan favorite, Lock Warrior.
Lock Warrior. Oh yeah. So this comp, the only way you can make it work is if the warrior goes last stand spec, because or else the warrior just dies very fast. And it's kind of bad in season one, but it gets better every season. Early on, I would say like C tier. I played it with Spank. He like showed me the ropes on how to play the comp. So
Okay, yeah.
I've seen its potential before.
Resto Shaman Lock, our favorite, our little.
Yeah, we and we actually like played a lot of this, so we've seen the potential. I mean, it's a good comp. Like, it surprised me because I thought it was completely a meme. But
Mm.
versus like double DPS comps, it does very, very well.
Yeah, and then I played it quite well, not quite a bit. I played it for probably a couple of hours with Cargos as well. But he likes to play it as UA. He is very UA. He's a UA man at the moment, I think.
He is, yeah.
And yeah, I think if you want to UA and you want to do twos, then I think yeah, UA Warlock Resto Shaman is probably uh, the way to go. If people want to see more of you, reality, thanks for coming on, mate. As always, absolute pleasure.
Of course.
Where can we find you? I hear you've just started some YouTube shenanigans as well.
So yeah, I just created a YouTube channel. I'm gonna be posting content. I'm in the works of creating a Roguelock 2's guide for anyone interested in that, and then a Roguelock Priest 3's guide. So, and you can catch me on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/shades of reality, or on Twitch. I'll be streaming degenerate hours of streaming at twitch.tv/shades of reality.
So there you have it, guys. That has been our tier 2v2 tier list brought to you by myself and Reality. If you're interested in catching any of him, whether it is his new YouTube or on Twitch, then the info will be down below. And obviously let us know what you think down in the comments. You know, have we got this completely wrong? Let us know. We always would love to hear your feedback. And then we will also be doing a 3v3 one that is going to be recorded later on today, and then it'll be on YouTube at some point in the near distant future. All that said, have a fantastic TBC launch. It's going to be crazy. I obviously will be streaming at the usual one, twitch.tv/Caitlin_UK. So have a fantastic TBC launch, and I'll see you guys in the arena.